Alright, call the meeting to order. Can I get a motion on the minutes?
Make a motion.
A second. All in favor? You're up.
Okay, financial reports are here as of June 30th. As of June 30th, we have a total amount of cash of $13,193,000, $494,000, of which $10,462,000 is cash related. Only less than $3 million is available for quick funds, and of that $3 million, we have about 1.6 committed.
Questions? Linda,
Yes.
quick, before Benny gets in. Gonna get a motion to adjourn?
I was just saying, where's the DEP?
Don't ever let the town win.
All right, so on the reporting and filing dates, one item that is highlighted is the payments to the Westchester municipalities for O&M. We have to renew that agreement, so I'm not sure how long that will take.
But it's in the works.
Yes. So this, the right of objection letter out there, so we're just waiting.
I had another right of objection letter, I guess I would like in writing exactly what it is you're proposing, how there's an additional of the $750,000 amount, there's about $221,000 that is outstanding. And so I guess, do you want the 221 to be put in for another 5 years? So just sort of what the parameters are, what it is that you're requesting. Once you do that, it should not be a heavy lift in terms of our legal department to get this done, but it will have to go in front of the board. Hopefully we can get it in front of the board in early September, because I don't think it's going to be a heavy lift.
All right, so I had a question on that. I saw the email today. Do you want that coming from the Wisconsin Watershed or from the Westchester communities?
It's the customer monitoring. The corporation.
Corey, is it possible to do something to the sound? Because I'm having a little trouble picking people up.
Well, can you hear me, or is it just, is that the further people away that's struggling?
It's a little burbly.
It is, okay, give me a second. We're trying a new
All right.
microphone right now to make it better, and it's being weird already.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just.
No, it's all good, thank you for pointing it out.
Is it echoing?
Yeah, I haven't checked, or is it just verbally?
She just froze, it could be on her end.
Yeah, it looks like
Verbally.
you're freezing a little bit, Chris, so maybe.
Mine is always perfect.
You are always perfect, that is true. All right, can you hear better now? Does it sound good or any different?
A little better. Have
Okay.
somebody on the other side say
Billy, can you say
something.
something?
Hello, hello, hello.
It's a little better.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah.
Sorry, thank you.
Thank you.
Continue.
Kevin? Sure.
Okay, so we, excuse me. You said about 755 kilograms. We are in construction on, active construction on 2 of the 4 projects that are listed in green at the top. Continue to push forward the rest to be entering into construction for this calendar year. Still optimistic, some may branch over into the spring, which is still expected, particularly Longfellow Drive in Kent, which is, as you guys know, a larger project and part of a larger negotiation with permitting and the property owner. We're expecting the few projects at the bottom in pink to continue along the postponed section. If we can address those in future iterations of the program, we will, but currently it's the expectation that we won't be able to move forward with those. We will continue, however, out of that group to work with Lewisboro and see if we can get a conclusion on Terry Drive. and see what else we can do there, because, we still do feel there's a good project there that can get executed, but as it's been presented in the past, it's, a few property owner hurdles that we're gonna manage.
Yeah, let's regroup on that.
Yeah.
We'll figure out.
I think it's good, yeah.
Yep.
That's all.
Questions? Who's doing all that?
So the O and M is, we continue to do along with inspections, of all sites. Corey and Sophia have been working together to update all inspections. I believe Sophia's gonna be with us until the 15th of August. And, the leftover projects at that point, we'll wrap up for inspections in the fall. As Millie addressed a moment ago, there's some leftover conversations we had about the funding that's available for the Westchester County municipalities covering their share of the O&M program. We can discuss how that's gonna lay out, if that new agreement will only cover O&M, or perhaps the corporation needs additional funding for living and continuing on, whether or not it would make sense to expand any new IMAs that get written with Westchester County. But for the time being, we will continue. We encourage everybody to move forward with their O&M and see how we look at the end of the year.
I would like to reiterate that we are using new forms starting this year. Please use them, please submit them. There is information on how to use them on our website, in our O&M documents, and within the actual form itself, of how to use the form and everything. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, reach out. Thank you.
And I am hearing nothing. Maybe Brian?
Jan, can you hear us? You good? Chris, you can still hear us, right? We're good? Hello?
Is that the mic we're using right there?
Which two mics? It's the little bird and then the tiny mic that goes with it to
It's a little
expand.
bird and
Chris, can you hear us still?
Oh, yeah, now I can. Sorry,
Okay.
it just seems difficult. Are you on the agenda?
Yes.
Yes, so I wanted to recommend that you add to the Board of Directors agenda the amendments to the corporation agreements for the WQIP funds. We will have, it seems that we will have potentially funds that be rolled over to the 11-15 period. We previously in 2016 amended the agreements to roll them over to the 6-10 period. So I think we would need to follow the same process, which means I think we would have to request that approval from the respective legislatures and then sign the amendment to the agreement as we did in the past. And Millie, Millie's there, right?
Yes.
You might want to speak to that.
I actually was having a hard time hearing you at the beginning, Chris. Can you just repeat that part?
Yeah, so this relates to the use of the WQIP funds, rolling that forward again to the 11-15 period.
Yes,
And so we would need to formally amend that agreement for use of those funds. That was done in 2016. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming we would follow the same process.
we would, yes, we would follow the same process, meaning it would, actually, I think that it was amended in 2019 was the last time.
Was it? Do you want to send me something? Because I have 2016.
Yeah, I'll send you the IMA when I get back to my office.
Yeah, this is the corporation agreement. You may be talking about another agreement.
Oh, you're talking about the corporation agreement. Yes, I would think that would also have to be amended.
Yes.
Okay,
So I think we need to have the board approve that amendment. And perhaps this board could informally request consideration of that amendment. What do you need in order to start that process on your end? Millie?
I think that if you, So if the board approves the amendment, then I would just need a copy of that approval.
Okay,
I think that that is all that we used in the past.
can we give you the draft amendment and the draft resolution in advance so that you can start to work that through your
Yes.
legal review? Okay, we will
Yes.
do that. Okay.
Chris, is there anything that needs to be done on the certificates of incorporation? To update it for the new permit that came out? Just don't recall how that was written.
On the
There-
certificates of incorporation?
Yeah, well, when it was originally done, was it written in a way to address the pre-existing permit? Or was it done for us just to satisfy water quality challenges that the municipalities have?
Well,
And
we
so my
we did already process an amendment to our corporate purposes. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, but I'm asking, does that have to be updated at all for the new permit that came out? Does it have to reference the new permit that was
I don't
released?
think so. It had a reference to generically purposes, retrofits and so forth.
Yeah, that was my question, yeah.
No, it didn't ever reference a specific permit.
I just want to also bring up, you're gonna roll over water quality funds from years 6 to 10 to 11 to 15. There's also a letter agreement between the counties and DEP agreed to accept the reporting aspect of that from the counties. So that letter agreement also needs to be amended. I don't think that's a heavy lift either, but it needs to be done.
Yes, so there was a,
Somebody
yes, there,
decided the county didn't want to take the reporting, that DEP would be responsible for it. It was a separate letter agreement outside of the agreements between the counties and the corporation. So that's where we are.
Are there any
Yeah.
other agreements we need to talk about?
That was
so
not my-
formally, Vinny, is that something that you will process internally? What do you need from us to begin to review something like that? Do you draft it? Do we draft it?
I mean, ultimately, it's probably between the counties and DEP. I'm not sure exactly how that process would play out, who would initiate it, maybe the counties can request. Might be the best way to do it.
I'll look for that agreement, and then you look for that agreement.
I have those.
Okay.
Agreements.
I mean, I theoretically should have them, but because this was done before my time.
Gotcha. But I don't know who to talk with Putnam County to do it.
All right, other agreements that may need to be amended, the new MS4 permit requires specific language. And I'm not so sure that we're not all gonna have to redo our agreements to participate in East of Hudson.
Doesn't it depend on what East Hudson's doing on our behalf?
No, so the new permit has specific language that they want in a agreement, cooperative agreement between municipalities participating in this. And so I'm still on the radar for one of the work groups that we're gonna do. All right. We down to other business? Down to other business? Anybody got any other business? you wanna
Other
bring up?
business, or me,
Chris starts?
before Chris can start and we can go into other business, I guess. What's Chris gonna cover?
Chris, you wanna talk about anything?
Well, I think I do have something to discuss probably in executive session regarding a particular contract matters regarding acquisition of an easement.
Well, before she starts, and let me, if I can, because I'm not. I thought I was coming in as member of large market back office treasurer, so as opposed to I'm not really here. Yeah, it's not so fun. Money for the work plan. We need to figure out how to fund this thing, or we're not gonna have anything. We probably need, I was talking to Kevin earlier, we need 150,000 if we do the work to get the thing done. And the money is gonna be coming from the DEP. probably for,
Well, that's assuming that we're gonna do a 5-year work plan.
well, what are we doing?
So far, what we've been doing is going year by year and getting it approved by the EPC, like Tom Snow. Right?
No, we do a 5-year work plan and to address the permit requirement. And then every individual year we submit from that approved plan, we've submitted a 1-year. All of that.
Yeah, but most of the projects we're submitting at this point aren't even on that work plan.
True, but that's what we've been doing thus far.
So what I would like to do is push back on the DEC and just keep going year by year like we've been doing. That's what I'd like to, okay, which is what I tried to push for at the July work session, and she closed me down, and
Who should,
Christine Chiapetta. She says, you didn't give it to us quick enough, it's not on the agenda. But, so I
is it
said,
on the August 7th agenda then?
yeah, but now she's talking about pushing the August 7th meeting back.
Well, part of the problem we have is we don't have enough money to execute everything.
No, and so the issue becomes, either we have to get the money to the counties.
Well, exactly. Well, there's a couple of things. I don't know exactly what we can simply go out and tell each town, we need to put this much money together to come up with a work plan. Now, if you want to do it, even if we're doing 1 year, I don't care, but some of the money that we have, the money we have now can't be used for that, correct?
We have nothing that can be used for that.
Yeah, so, you know, I don't know how we want to do that, go out and say everybody throws in 10 grand or something like that, or.
Well, we've got the old schedule where everybody, contributes based on their obligation.
Well, that's easy, I just ran that too. And, I mean, for Westchester, I don't know what the obligation is for, I had this going back to year 1.
Well, listen, I have it, you wanna see if we can.
Well, I'm just trying to-
Together with 150, I can, plug that number in and send it out to everybody, showing what you're.
Because I think that'll at least pique everybody's interest in our problem, I think.
Right.
Because we're, we could very rapidly just completely run out of cash and just dissolve, and that's not good for anybody. So I would think we talk to Tom Smith. Vinny is, I'm talking to DEP, but, yeah, we're not gonna see any money out of the 10 million for some period of time, I would think.
I would think that's correct.
Yeah, and if we ask for a small amount at least to start prosecuting.
Well, and you
something.
can't use it for that anyway.
I forget about the work, I'm just talking about doing work. If we needed to just start.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
The work plan, we can figure out how to get the money, it's not so much, it's 100 grand, we can even see if we get some press grants or go up to Tom Snow or do something to get it. But we need money to prosecute some of these things, to actually do the work and stuff.
I mean, in terms of that agreement, it needs to go through the registration process. It's not like we can just furnish you some money. So, I mean, that process is. Me, Mike, they weren't quite very much control over.
Well, so when do you think? Because what happens is we add a year on to whatever you tell us, right? Because that's usually what happens. So you're talking 2026.
No, I would suggest that once we come to terms on the document and we submit that, I would say 12 months from that point.
Okay.
It's a rough estimate, rule of thumb.
Vinny, what's the status of the turn on the latest draft that you guys were working on?
Waiting for that question. I thought it was gonna be here by today. It's not, it's imminent. It's almost there, probably next week.
Once we get it from them, what other changes are we gonna want in it? Do we have a lot of time?
We just agree to everything and we can start processing.
No, well, I don't know how many times it's come back and forth.
We gotta see what the changes are.
We gotta see what they did with it. We had some issues that we had to work through, and we don't know what they're doing with them.
And we've got some issues we've gotta talk about on the agreement with Tom Snow as well, so.
One of the, to your question about the work plan, Rich, that agreement right now that we've been working with the DEP on references one approved work plan to cover everything. So we're gonna make that change, that agreement, we have to go back and address that agreement as well.
It's the only downside about doing a 5-year plan is that it costs us a little more upfront. Other than
The
that,
downside is that we put all these projects in them that we never use. That's the downside.
Well, yeah, but it also gets the towns thinking about it ahead of the time, about what they need and what needs to get addressed within the municipalities. If we wait on an annual basis, sure, we'll get some that'll be like, oh yeah, this just popped up, can you fix this problem? But in order to encourage some engagement by the municipalities, I think having that 5-year work plan where they have to force to sit down with staff and go through things about where your hotspots are, what are your problems. It would help to do that. To your point, yes, we rarely pull from that original plan and work with the exact project that was proposed. We have changed course.
Yeah, and it's always the same thing, is we're going for the hotspots, you know, all of a sudden something pops up.
Yeah.
Something becomes available, didn't become available before. And that's how we've been doing most
So
of
we
the
have to
projects.
have some base set of sites that we should be working on planning. There has to be, otherwise we're just we're spending too much time doing the upfront design work on things that we can't get done in a year. I don't know,
But you're talking, Warren, you're talking about 150,000 for a plan?
I don't know, 100.
So we take the original 2 sets of plans that we did, go back and just take
When you say
those.
2 sets of plans, is that the fan one or is that?
No, so we did one before, Westchester, I think, had one, and Putnam had one before this corporation was formed.
Yep.
And then we did one for years 6 to 11. Right? We take those 2 and we put them together and see it hasn't fallen off, and we got a plan. And that's about as much work as we really need to put into any of this. Right? That's because half of them are not gonna go forward anyway.
Right. We'll pick the ones that we have already invested funds in that maybe just didn't flush out. We'll pick the
Well, how much
ones
does it
that-
cost to do that? Can you work on
I
this?
threw out a number of 100 just so that it's covered. I don't think that it would touch 100. I think it would be less than that.
So is this stuff that you can't work on without separate funding? You can't work,
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah, like I can't even talk about it right now. In fact, right now I'm Kevin Fitzpatrick, the guy.
And he's got his fingers in his ears.
Not somebody representing the corporation. However, I would love to volunteer my time to help Kevin Fitzpatrick, the director of engineering. Not bad.
Yeah, well, if we have separate funding source, then that problem goes away, right?
Well, we're not gonna get from the DEP. and-
No, I understand. I mean, so
The
you're
low-hanging fruit right
suggesting
now are
putting
so
out a
electric.
request to the to the
So the
municipalities
low-
and the county, right?
Yeah, the low hanging fruit right now is either from some WQIP money the counties have, but that'll take a fair amount of time. A Crest grant or a DASI grant will take a fair amount of time, and right now they only want you to build things, they don't want you to plan things. Easy money is
Mhm.
going to the towns, quite frankly. And if he doesn't need 100 grand, if he needs 50 grand. Part of the problem that we have the same group of people here all the time. There's some towns that have no freaking clue what's going on. They're not involved. And they're getting the benefit of bubble compliance. So I don't have a problem going out. Again, I think if you come up with a realistic number,
Listen,
I would like to see.
like I said, I'll pump it out. You know, one of the problems we're all gonna run into is this permit came out well after our budgets. So none of us have anything in our budgets to do this.
Yeah, I don't think we're talking about that much. We have 15 towns, right? 18, whatever the number is. 19, I don't know. What's the count?
I'm sorry, I'm yelling from back here. Could Harcum take the 2.3 million, he's giving everybody 100,000 and let us use that crust funding
Well,
for,
there is a subtle issue with Chris funding in that right now you have to do physical things. They want you to build something or that has like change. So
2024 was at will, what you want.
with.
you can, but I'm sure if you go out there and say, give us
20
3 grand or 2020.
2024. I got a whole sheet that says this is what you can do.
Yeah, I got that too, but it was, when we asked them the question, they were like, whatever you guys feel you wanna do it.
So I don't know, take 10 grand or 5 grand,
Yeah.
put it into a kitty and solve the problem.
Well, 100 grand would solve all the problems.
Oh, it's solve the group problem. I don't think.
I don't think we need 100 grand. He's saying that's a way top line. If there's 19, we're talking about 5 grand in municipality. If there's, I don't know how Putnam County figures in, but Westchester's going to give us 5 grand, so maybe Putnam County is a part of that. So however many we have, it's not a huge amount of money. But I'm a little concerned that we're waiting on everything and doing nothing, and sooner or later, we're just gonna run out of cash and something's gonna slip another 6 months, and we're gonna be sitting here and not gonna be able to pay salaries, we're not gonna be able to do it. So we need to accelerate things so that when we get the money, we can actually start projects. That's the thing that concerns me.
The bigger issue, not paying salaries, it's a.
So are you suggesting Warren, are you suggesting a coalition letter? To obtain funds for an internal plan recommendation?
Well, there's, I don't know what group you're talking about when you're talking about East Hudson Consortium.
Yes.
Oh,
Coalition, yeah. We
Yes.
have the EOHWC, and I'm sure you got one also. But yeah, I would think, if nothing else, everybody's ears are gonna pop up, they're gonna say, why the hell do you want money from me?
I think she's trying to take this out of the corporation business.
Yeah, possibly.
Yes,
Yes,
Yeah, but you know what, I know it's not that funny. Because we've been sitting here talking about it and doing nothing, quite frankly. We need to
no,
figure
no,
out.
that's not it, Warren. I'm just trying to suggest that we take an action
So-
outside of the board meeting.
all right, so we need to go into.
Well,
executive session.
maybe it's East Hudson going to Tom Snow and say the DEC needs to give us 50 grand.
Okay, so let's table this for the moment, we need to
In
go.
fact, by the way, he's gonna tell us that the WQIP is due the 31st, and we should have applied. That's what he's gonna tell us.
Great. Before we leave, I would just like to recognize Vinnie Tamania, who's been with us from the inception on all this. This is his last meeting. He's been a real asset here. You're gonna be tremendously missed. Best of luck in your coming adventure and going forward, so. Been a pleasure.
Broward County, Florida.
Oh, wow.
So if the airport screws up, there's some transportation error going on down there, you know who to call.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session.
To discuss a particular easement, thank you.
All in favor? All right, is there any other business before this board?
Yes, I'd like to let everybody know that Corey will be leaving on August 15th. Thank him for his service to the corporation. It's been a vital piece.
Wow.
He's setting up a lot of the operations we have now. And wish him well on his next adventure.
Good luck.
Where you going?
New York City.
Oh.
I know you all love it there, so. It'll be a fun time.
So Kevin, I assume you're going to be putting up a position announcement?
No, I'm not. We have no projects to work on, no work plan
Okay.
until such time.
So you're gonna wait until the funding agreement is resolved?
Yep.
We can do
All right,
No,
a happy note.
that's not great. And by the way, just a comment, since this is my last meeting. We saw from the very beginning the benefit of these intermunicipal agreements. And the problem that we have, and we'll continue to lose talent, I believe, my opinion, based on the fact that people who come take these positions and are as talented as Corey is, don't see a path forward and funding in the future. And so for all that it's worth for the DEP to recognize, and that's why I want it in the minutes, for the DEP to recognize that this is something that benefits New York City. It always has been. And somehow we need to bring that to the highest level if this great board is going to continue. Because
Next, we'll lose Kevin, and we'll lose, and then by that time, we got nothing. So this whole thing falls apart because of a bureaucracy.
Thank you, Nate.
I will go on the record to say I am partially leaving because of the uncertainty of the future and my concerns with that, so.
All right, motion to adjourn,
Make a motion.
second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, you wanna go with